The Fiora here, Camille here.
Yeah, just a little pamphlet just saying all the good things about how great Fiora is. Yep, that's probably what we're going to see. A 1-3-1 composition put together here by the DN Freecs. See whether that does actually eventuate.
Yeah, God, no.
Yes.
I feel like, you know how sometimes we get to like Game 5 of Fearless? We've had this, not all the time, but sometimes we'd get like Game 5 and teams would lean heavily into scaling, you know? We even had like Zeri Yumi at times.
Yep.
I feel like the teams in this one might go, guys, both games so far have gone very late, right? Both teams have shown some struggles with regards to pushing the pace of the game.
Indeed.
Maybe we end up in a situation, this is my theory, where both teams do some investing, right? They invest in some champions who maybe do a little bit of scaling, do a bit of stacking, right? Maybe we get like a Senna Smolder matchup, something like that.
Ooh, Senna, Smolder in mid lane, Nasus top, and Veigar jungle.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Wait, you could have Kindred jungle, Veigar support, and then it'd actually just be stacking all over.
But I just think that, you know, it's quite clear that having a strong insurance policy when you get in the later stages is of a lot of value, because even teams in this series who get ahead, you know, I mean, obviously last game we saw DNF get ahead and they stayed ahead, but I feel like their composition ensured that, right?
Yep.
But if you get ahead and your composition's not going to hold out in the later stages, I feel like there's no guarantee the game is going to end before it gets to, like,
I think
so
if you're
late
either
in
of
the game.
these teams, you know that the other team doesn't know how to finish the game. So just pick all the scaling. It's a beautiful idea. The Gwen going to be taken away. Gwen Varus going to stick around. The Alistar is the only new ban that we're seeing. And that is going to mean that, I guess, Ahri or Jace get through. Never mind. It is going to be the Ahri that gets through. I don't know whether that's going to be first pickable, though. So what are DRX going to be prioritizing here in our third game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, picks like the Ryze, the Annie, in terms of mid are also pretty high priority. So I'm not sure necessarily there's a super big need to pick up the Ahri necessarily. And they lock in that Ryze immediately.
This is a pick that Yeo looked pretty good on in their last series.
Yep. Has the ability to side lane, so Chronicler will be very excited.
Wait, no. But Chronicler wants Dudu to be side laning because he was a DRX Predator.
Yeah, but maybe. Oh, yeah, true, actually. Maybe he's going to be upset now.
Ooh, Valdez is going to be happy, though, because Corki priority is going up. Berserker going to be jumping onto that guy.
Yeah, I've seen Corki do a pretty good job of... He has that position where he has laning power, mid-game spikes pretty hard, but even in the later stages still holds up. And Pyosha going to pick up the Skarner. With the Trundle gone, I feel like a lot of freedom to pick this up. One of the tank junglers we've seen sticking around in the meta. But I think, you know, Pyosha just have him on a durable tank. Why not?
Yep.
DRX looking at the Ezreal, matches the item spikes off the Corki, but I feel like... Haven't
like the
seen
Nico prior.
too much Ezreal success recently, in all honesty. Nico, though, one of the great engage picks that does also have some of that laning power, so it'll be interesting to see what the DM Freecs pick in the bot lane. Bulldog looking at options in the mid lane.
I don't know whether TF is a Bulldog champion. That isn't. Okay. But he's going to lock it in anyway. That's the answer to the Rise that we saw come out from the Bros as well.
Yeah.
And it didn't work very well in lane.
Yeah, I mean, good in theory into the Rise, right? In the fact that he is short ranged, has to come into you. Obviously have that shred. But the problem is that you're not very good into the Ezreal.
Yeah.
Who just kind of sits outside of your range. Jarvan ban, I think, makes a good amount of sense, though. And in terms of junglers, the pool has been thinned a decent amount at this point. So we'll have to see what Sponge comes up with.
Yeah, because the Skarner is already locked in on the side of the DN Freecs, so they're not too worried about it. Can just get rid of anything that he wouldn't want to deal with.
I do like the Leona ban, because into Nico, one of the engage supports where if the Zenith Blade comes through and you clone, it still hits you because it goes through. So it makes a lot of sense there. And, you know, we've seen Rel's gone, Rakan's gone, Nautilus gone, Alistar gone, Leona gone. That engage support pool kind of getting whittled down, moving more to the fringes as a result.
Yep. Speaking of fringes, the Lee Sin going to be taken away here as well. So Sponge really going to have to go deep into the champion pool to find an option here. Unless he wants to play Ezreal jungle. Because Haru does have a skin for Ezreal, and he's a jungler. So obviously Ezreal is a jungler.
Yeah, not super sold on that. I guess Poppy jungle still an option.
Oh, true. Poppy's actually still up. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see it get banned in the second round last time, I believe, or in our first game at least. K'Sante, they're going to be the consideration here for Dudu, though.
And I feel like Poppy, just when K'Sante's in the game, is pretty valuable. Chronic going to be disappointed, but they are going for that route of having tanky topside. Looks like they won't lock in the K'Sante yet. We'll go for the Bard, so picking something with range to match a little bit into the Nico, but also does have that ult that can provide a bit of engaged for the team, especially into the Ryze, less so into the Ezreal. Going to just Arcane Shift out of it.
I don't really like the K'Sante here because I feel like DRX don't have all that much damage. Unless Sponge is going to pick something that really does eliminate the jungle, and that does damage, I guess. The Viego, the Paperman coming in. And we were having this conversation, I believe, a couple of days ago, talking about Viego and his viability. It's not high. Just feels a bit like Paperman.
Yeah, not a fan of him. I don't think the Malphite value is super high here. Toying with the idea of the Aatrox.
Dudu Aatrox is a pretty scary prospect. He's won games by himself on this champion. Let's see whether the Dutrox is going to be able to take down the K'Sante that was picked away from him. Of course, they prioritized the Bard instead. And so Dudu wasn't able to collect that one. It is an eclectic draft here from DRX. And Sponge really taking a risk, I feel, by picking up this Viego.
Yeah, Viego into Cassiopeia and Skarner. Pretty bad time, honestly.
Yeah, doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, gonna have some struggles there. They do at least have setup. I think sometimes we've seen Viego where you just don't have setup to get the resets, and that can be really painful, so I think at least there's that going. We'll see how it ends up panning out, though. I think, you know, both bot lanes have a lot of agency. We'll see, and both of them spike about a similar time with 80 carries around the mid-game spike, but I think the Corki's had a lot more value in recent times than the Ezreal. I think that mid-game has felt so much more significant and also scaling up to be really strong in the later stages. Cassiopeia as well, going to feel pretty good. And you have the Aatrox as well into a pretty short-range composition, so I think DNF feeling pretty happy how things have panned out overall.
I think their composition looks a little bit better. Game 3. Once more, this time, I mean, DRX are on the verge of the same thing happening to them again. And DNF on the verge of picking up their first victory in a very long time. Let's get into it. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. On to the rift for the final game of the series.
I feel like if this game does go late, if we do end up in that situation...
Oh, you mean when this game goes late?
When this game goes late.
Yes.
I think DNF are feeling... It's not as clear-cut as last time, where it was like, okay, if they're even or ahead, they're golden. But I feel like they are feeling pretty happy if it goes to the later stages in this one.
Pioshik playing the Zoanite Skarner skin. Just looks like it's straight out of auto build in Tears of the Kingdom.
Do like it has like the green vibes, and the Bulldog also has this sort of similar color scheme. You know,
yeah.
Looks like matching skin.
I think they are actually the same skin line.
We'll talk.
It's got to be like the Jade something skin line.
Maybe, yeah. We're talking about like matching item sets.
Well, Bulldog actually looks like a shrine from Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it actually is a bit of a shout out. Yes. I've been playing a lot of that game recently.
They specifically are shouting you out, Max, because you're playing it.
Hey, I'm not the only one. There's loads of people playing that game.
Hey, I'm just, you know.
You know, I think. I mean, it did come out like 2 years ago.
But it did then get like kind of re-released with the Switch 2.
It did.
To be better and cooler.
I'm looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom getting Game of the Year 2 years after it was released. Well, it is like, very good on
Didn't that happen with like The Last of Us as well?
Something like that. There have been some good games released this year, though, so I think the competition might be a bit high.
Yeah.
It's all right. Dudu and Rich doing some battle here towards the top side. And yeah, Rich, I think is going to suffer a little bit. I think Rich just in general has looked a little shaky this week. Struggled to get back on the horse as there's the Tangle Barb's going to connect on to life. As I do really rate the Ezreal Nico lane. I actually think the lane is really strong, but But Corky, no slouches either, as Sponge is going to have his Gromp reset on him. That's a little bit frustrating, but I think he should be okay.
Well, that's nearly barrier position there. And the Corky.
Is Pyosik going to be spotted as he's doing his Raptor camp, but realizes that it does not exist. Is now pinging towards this top side as Sponge is rotating over. Will give away his position. Knows exactly what's going on here. As Pyosik maybe realizing that he just cannot fight the Viego right now.
So that's a big edge for Sponge. If he can defend his top side, looks like I'm not going to be able to, it seems.
Huh.
Yeah, confidence given over. Bulldog has priority in mid. You have a bit of priority towards the top side. So I think Sponge really wanted to defend his top side camps and realizes this is not the play to be made.
Or he was doing a fake out. Maybe he thought that Pyosik would see him trying to go over there. He slinks into the mist and then fakes out, goes the other direction, and then thinks maybe Pyosik just goes back and doesn't want to fight him or something, and it's all just a cunning ruse. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, it is just, in the end, vertical jungling, so that's not too much of a big deal. Pyosik is going to miss out on a couple of camps because I don't think he's going to be picking up the Wolves or the Gromp, but his Wolves are still up, so he can head back there if he'd like to, as Sponge. The aggression out of this Viego has been very high. Sponge is very happy to play up in the face of this Skarner in the early game. Understandably so, of course, in the more offensive aspect, jungler versus the tank, but it's great to see Sponge really trying to, you know, put the screws in.
Yep, I mean, taking away that Scuttle Crab from there, it feels like Pyosik has spent so much time just wandering about.
Yeah.
So far in this early game, just walking from spot to spot, trying to pick up camps.
The good old happy feeding.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very efficient.
Well, he's going to be able to at least get a crab frustration battle there towards the top side as the Infernal Chain's not going to quite pull the ridge back, but you can see Dudu having a fine time here on this top side. Going to be ahead by a few CS for now, but I believe these minions will actually even it out entirely, so the top lane matchup, pretty comfortable. As Andil just wandering around, just seeing whether he can catch Bulldog napping. He is not going to. As Life will try and clear out this ward and does do so. A very slow early game. Hawks, are you surprised?
Not at all.
I am baffled. I'm baffled that it's this slow. We've never seen this, not in the history of Game 3s.
Especially in this matchup. You know, expected it to be...
in round 3.
Yeah. Thought it'd be breakneck, right?
Mm-hmm. I just would have thought that it'd accelerate, you know?
Yeah.
That's my bad. Should have expected that perhaps things would just stay the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bulldog getting a little bit zoned. Not even able to use the poison to get that bit of CS.
You've actually had Yahoo has gotten a reset off and picked up that tier, and Bulldog hasn't yet, so perhaps looking for a window to go for that. So far, I've seen DRX have a bit of extra pressure in the bot lane.
We do have to mention as well, this is Teddy's Ezreal, and he is pretty happy with this champion.
Yeah.
Basically, every champion that has, you know, been released for a very long time is a great Teddy champion. Kind of how it works. As Sponge will be able to start off this dragon. It looks like he will be able to secure it as well. I feel like whoever gets the first, like, dragon just takes all of them.
That has been the theme.
That's what's happened so far.
Yeah.
And also whoever has the, like, I don't know, tempo vibe of the game. Right now, DRX well and truly with the tempo vibe. DNF had it the entire game last time. Yeah, it's like all of, like the lanes are all just generally, like gravity seems to be moving in the direction of DRX right now. In DNF's case, it was always moving towards them. Even when DRX made some plays to pull things back, it felt like naturally the game wanted to go DNF's way. And I feel like in this game, naturally, the game wants to go DRX's way.
And that's called tempo vibe.
Yeah, that's what I came up with.
Right.
What do you think? Or is it just called tempo?
It might just be called tempo.
Because I didn't want to say that they actually had tempo, because I don't think they even need the tempo.
Tempo can change hands, right? Even
yeah, that's what I mean. The tempo vibe though will stay the same forever. Okay?
Okay.
Like gravity.
Right.
That's my way. That's how I explain.
But what if the tempo vibe changes? You know, because that can happen, can't it?
Then I might need to stop using tempo vibe.
Yeah, because for example,
then it's not real.
You know that the first time that DNF played Nocturne Orianna, not this series, the first time in general, I'd have said they had the tempo vibe in that game, and then they lost horrifically.
That is a very good point.
So
I would argue that actually you'll find the tempo vibe was in fact in favor of DRX.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like...
And that's why they lost.
It was a mystery to the tempo vibe.
They had to fight back against the vibes.
Right, okay. I'm learning a lot about tempo and vibes.
Yeah.
And also tempo vibes in this.
And if you're going against the vibes, it's a really tough time, you know? Have to do a lot of extra convincing.
A lot of extra... Who are you convincing?
I don't know. Honestly, I lost track of this a while back, but it did eat a lot of time in the lull state of this game, which I think is pretty effective.
I feel like I'm getting more I'm getting more questions on the back of this. I really want to deep dive. You know, I'm glad we have this time because I
might need to flesh it out a little bit.
Yeah,
I have to admit it was a little on the fly.
The concept is there, right?
Yeah,
but I feel like you haven't. The world building needs a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'll come up with it. Okay. You know, this is like a first draft.
Yeah.
And there's no better time to go into the first draft.
No judgment, you know. I think I always appreciate someone who's willing to put their ideas out there.
Yeah, I'm also very willing to workshop it, you know, or just never say it again, if that's what we prefer.
One of the two.
Very happy to do both of those things. As the game is extraordinarily even, but remember, guys, the tempo vibe is with DRX right now.
but you kind of sold it as the tempo vibe doesn't change, so...
No, it doesn't. So I had to remind everyone that even though everything looks even, you know, and it's kind of okay, one grub was taken by DNF.
But you're that confident in the tempo vibe.
Yeah, the tempo vibe is still there. So DNF is still fighting back against the vibes.
Wow.
Yep.
But so... Has there been situations where teams have won against the tempo vibe?
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
It has happened. They've had to just try way harder.
Yeah.
Like think of DRX in 2022.
Oh,
they never had the tempo vibe.
They never had the tempo vibe?
Oh, they did in a few of the games, but like oftentimes they wouldn't have
that. That team felt like they had a lot of vibes, but not tempo vibes.
Yeah, well, like sometimes they'd have it, but like oftentimes they didn't, and they won against the flow.
But but a team can have vibes, but not it's distinct from tempo vibes.
It is. You really want to keep talking about this because you want to talk about anything other than the game.
No,
I'm just right now, Orcs.
I'm just really I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because it's perplexed me. You know, it's really.
I think it's just an arbitrary thing that I've just decided to say.
And I'm holding you accountable.
See, look at this. Sponge just executing Pyoshik.
I'm holding you accountable for saying these terms, you know? You can't just pull tempo vibe out of the bag and
the more you say it, the dumber it sounds, and it already sounded dumb.
It was dumb the first time you said it. You can't.
I know.
You can't just pull out
way
tempo
worse
vibe.
now.
Yeah, you can't just say, oh, they have the tempo vibe. That doesn't mean anything.
Oh no. Oh, don't say it again. No, one more time and it'll actually just be like impossible to say again. I just won't be able to say it again.
Maybe that's for the best, okay? Maybe we have to let it go.
All right. Rich is going to be able to defend. There is going to be a plate going down though, as Dudu is having a pretty good time. And let's go back. Let's take a bit of stock as to what's happened. It's a 300 gold lead for DNF.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple of objectives going over to DRX. They took 2 grubs, and that Drake was secured. So 20 seconds until this next dragon. That might be, you know, something to fight over. Right now, a fair few blue wards in the river.
We have seen a lot of second dragon fights be impactful in this series, I feel like. That's when the team's got a lot of confidence, false or otherwise, and decide, you know what, it's time to do something.
I'm with that. I reckon doing something sounds like a great move.
Well, not always, because sometimes that something's not so positive. But it's something. It's interesting.
It'll be good for someone.
Yeah, it'll be good for us.
Yeah.
Whether it's good for both, well, it'll be good for one of the teams, probably.
Oh.
You'd think.
Is someone going to face check something? Well, yes. It's Andal, and he can do that for free because he has a button that just lets him do it.
Zerka's a little bit disconnected from his team here. As in he's bot lane and everyone else is mid.
He's creating pressure.
I just thought you were going to say it again.
I'm waiting. I'm holding on to it for now.
Yeah. Well, he's now connecting up with his team.
All right.
There's a lot of vision like behind though. It looks like Rich and Dudu are like fully fighting, so they just don't care about the dragon.
There's one teleport available here for Rich, who can join if he would like to. But right now, Dudu is there. Can also manage to catch him out pretty comfortably. Some O-bars being thrown in as the Tempered Fate goes entirely wide, and it's just the dragon secured. Given away here by DRX. They do supervise momentarily as a Cloud Soul to come through yet again.
Yep.
Bunch of Game 3 Cloud Souls so far this LCK, and I kind of love it.
It was that easy. Just take the dragon and walk away.
Wow.
I think it also helps that DNF, they have 2 abilities to go through walls, you know? With the Bard portal and the
Skarner existing?
Skarner driving thing, you know,
yep.
So a little slippery.
Yep.
But yeah, DRX did just do the supervisation. I don't know if it was because they couldn't get Rich there, but it didn't seem like Rich wanted to go. It kind of just felt like they kind of...
I think he got a bunch of plates as well, I'm not entirely sure. No, it just got 1. I think that's still 4 up there.
Yeah. It just felt like the supervisation play. We've seen a lot in the LCK. They want to make sure that the
Did you say supervisation?
Yes.
Couldn't you just say supervision?
I could, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna lecture me with the tempo? You're gonna lecture me with the tempo vibe? You're gonna lecture me?
Well, I mean, yeah. I can. You can have one too. We can have one each. Supervisation into the tempo vibes. You just supervisated my tempo vibes earlier.
I did supervisate your tempo vibes. Yeah, they see them take the objectives. I'm like, yeah, good job, guys. That was clean. You took the objective and they walk away.
Yeah, they did.
So I think a lot of people expected maybe, perhaps. I sold them. I said that, you know, this is normally where you get some action. No. No action yet.
Not this time. Not this time.
Oh, Teddy hit some Mystic shots. That is some action. That's as close as we've probably gotten to action yet in this game.
And both Teddy and Berserker have the same items. Feels like such an even 1v1 here.
That's why it's neat, right? We often see AD carries, different items, different spikes.
Yep.
These two... I was gonna say, I wonder if we get like the Bruiser Corki we saw the other day, you know, when he just built like... He did the core, then he went like Shojin, Black Cleaver, Overlord's Bloodmail, and he had 4,000 HP and like 400 AD.
Didn't we also have like borderline lethality Corki from Ruler the other day as well? Where
yes,
it
went
was
the
like
Serpent's Fang.
Yeah, Serpent's Fang collector build. It was quite
I think
strange.
the lesson is build what you want and be free.
Absolutely. As long as you build, you know, tiered Trinity Force, you'll be fine.
Yeah, tiered Trinity Force, and then generally things that are in the vicinity of having AD.
Yeah.
Not AP.
Yeah, we don't do AP anymore.
Yeah.
That is not what this champion does. It did that for a couple of years. We reverted it back. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah.
If we ever did do like seasonal League of Legends, right, where you go back to certain patches, people will get very confused about what state Corki is in. All right, there is a little bit of a snare there onto Arndil, as Yahoo finding an angle. That Tempered Fate did absolutely nothing as Rich finds it into this backline, and now the resets are coming through, and it will go down, but there are the Heartbreakers, and it might just be Heartbreak here for DNF, as Rich, looking for it, does get the crash onto this Dudu, who is just not going to be able to survive this. Melee range with Teddy, but he just Arcane shifts on top of him. Berserker just watches while his team falls apart.
Our first taste of action and DRX clean up.
Oh, that's utilizing the tempo vibes to your advantage, right, Ox? I told you Chronicler because he's the one I normally terrorize, and I've been terrorizing you today.
Well, you did say DRX had the tempo vibes, and looks like that has come to fruition in this situation.
There it is.
I'm reluctant
Never
to
down
say.
the tempo vibes.
Never down the tempo vibes, yes. DRX, I just think it was a very broken up fight here. A lot of damage done initially to Pioshik, who ends up flashing out here, but you have these 2 flanks coming in, and it's just this broken up fight. Life kind of walks up, flashes out, gets deleted. You instantly have this reset coming through. Pioshik was low for a second, and the fight's basically done off the back of that. Once you have this momentum for the Viego, who's able to also use that CC from the Skarner to set up on a Dudu.
Yeah.
I think just a good start to the fight for DRX, and also very questionable from DNF. Very clear that they didn't have the tempo vibes.
Yeah, sometimes it's really difficult. Sometimes you can really get mind controlled into feeling like you have to play uphill into those tempo vibes, and it's very hard.
Yes.
At least that's what I'm going to say here. Rich catching this wave, and I think this is even more problematic, right? Because DRX, if their comp does get ahead, which Rich might try to alleviate, as he does manage to eat some of that CC, flashes away, will be all right. 6 seconds until all out.
They would have led with the miasma, you know, the thing that stops him from dashing.
You know what? I'll take your logic, and I'll bear it in mind while I ignore it.
Yeah. Well, Dragon's going to be started up here. Maybe a chance for DNF to undo some of the damage done in that previous fight.
Yeah,
Dudu is on a flank angle.
He connects onto Berserker, as Dudu does look for an angle in, but the Rune Prison comes down. Bulldog still holding onto that ult as Arcane shift forward by Teddy. This guy is kind of crazy. Sponge slinking into the mist, looking for an opportunity. These rockets are starting to hurt. The misting shots are not, but it's going to be a 50-50. Whether DNF like it or not, as Yahoo and Dudu are just fighting. Pop Blossom is going to connect. They dive on top, and it is going to be the steal and the death of Pureshik. Another reset to come on forward for DNF, and now looking scary. Yahoo moving on over. There's the knockback onto Bulldog, and into the thick of things is Sponge. They do manage to take him out in the end, but unfortunately, there is just not a lot of DNF left, and DRX continuing to roll over them.
Just feels like DRX is set up in their fights. The approach is so much better. They're so laser focused on getting that reset for Sponge on the offset, and it's working so well. We were unsure about the Viego. They are making it work so well.
Ridiculous how powerful. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it again. But that was incredibly well played there by DRX. And Sponge, this guy's Viego, is making me believe that maybe this champion isn't quite as problematic as I thought he was.
I mean, they do a great job of responding to Dudu here, zoning him off, poking him down. Teddy's just trying to harass here, and DNF just don't feel comfortable closing the distance. Yoshik's sitting on the dragon, and they haven't really found an angle to engage. Life does end up throwing the ult out, but it's pretty late. But they just eventually charge in. They're like, okay, let's just kill the Skarner. They get the ult, they get the reset. It's as easy as that. And then once that first reset comes down, they have confidence to continue the fight. Sponge ults onto Bulldog and just about finishes him off. And even though he goes down, he's done his job. He even gets some miasma down there to cause some more chaos.
And Rich as well. Managing to land that Q, got the pullback, allowed the next reset to come in from Sponge. This has been a huge resurgence from Rich on this Cassante that I had huge doubts of. Not gonna lie to you. I felt like Rich had a pretty rough start to the season so far, or rough start to this round 3. But this Cassante, even though he's behind a bunch of CS, look at this, 107. He's 100% kill participation on a top laner.
Yep.
Which says more about how much actual fighting and stuff happening is in this game, but also says a lot about Rich and how well he's contributed.
He's making his presence known. He had a rough lane in time as well into Dudu's Aatrox, but Dudu's Aatrox just really hasn't shown up when it's come to these team fights, to these 5v5s. And I think also, life on this Bard has felt very subdued.
Yeah.
I haven't seen value from the ults really.
It's been a lot of zoning tempered fates in this game.
Yeah.
This is the problem though. Bard is such a, you're always very on display. You know, you can always see a misplay, see when something doesn't work out. It's a very punishing champion.
Yeah.
If you don't find all the angles. And we've been blessed with some really good Bard play recently.
It's so easy to be useless in this champion.
Yes.
And honestly, it's not even that hard to work against your team. He hasn't really done that yet, but he has been pretty ineffective so far. And now they're starting up Atakan.
Well, Teddy, you can see, playing pretty aggressively, trying to hold on to the True Shot Barrage, not connecting onto everyone here as DRX looking for the turn. Teleport in from the Aatrox.
I mean, they have the Bard ult, so they can be pretty slow in the approach because they can always stall that out.
Oh, Rich. He's just not stopping. Does get knocked up, eats the CC of the Infernal Chains. DNF falling back once again. The health bar is still pretty high here for DRX as they're wearing through the Atakan as best they can. Rich is just a brick wall. Like, no one can get past this Cassante. He is too large. Teddy also dealing with the minion wave very, very nicely. Now DNF are moving in because they have to. Andal has the Pop Blossom angle, though. Flash is up. And now the reset is going to come in. Atakan getting angry at Sponge yet again, though. As remember, the resistances are getting shredded. DNF not wanting to give this one up without a fight. As Andal on a ward, live, gonna get the flash out from this Nico, but there is a stun onto Pureshik. Maybe he's too far up. True Shot Barrage does a lot of damage to the Skarner, who won't be able to frontline anymore. Dudu getting himself out of there, Berserker at full health. He is able to fight. Also 50% there for Rich at the same time. Teleport up and available. He might just look to try and teleport back into this one, as the crab will be the consolation prize for DRX. And I feel like we were fighting Atakan for the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Yoshik makes the call just to instantly reset. I thought he was going to go for the Krugs to get some health of him, but he just got the reset off. DRX don't commit more. Dragon up in 30 seconds, though.
Yeah, that could be the target.
Point for DRX.
So do they just give Otacon?
This is crazy. They do have a lot of single target DPS. Bulldog's mana is starting to get a little low. Sponge is still hanging around though.
Yeah, they do have Rich in the area who also just walked back to lane. I thought that he was teleporting back, but he didn't.
DRX could send someone down to Dragon to kind of just solo it while they keep the pressure around here. Maybe like Yahoo could do that with TP.
Yeah, I reckon that sounds like a good idea. He is going to wander over there as the Otacon. Look at this, they're just pulling it out of the pit, wasting the Otacon's time.
That's so rude.
As okay. Andil holding them in place. Rich there, teleport in from Bulldog. Because now Yahoo is going to move up. I think DRX valuing this Otacon very highly. And I know it's not end of the world, but the petals are pretty powerful. The fact that you guarantee the rest of them to ever exist are yours. And you also get the cute little combat buff. It's kind of fun. Has been pretty high win rate as well. If you get Otacon, oftentimes the game is yours. Yahoo is just going to do exactly what you were talking about. Onto this Dragon, will be able to get Soul Point for free.
Yep.
The Otacon is going to continue to be the target here as Teddy getting poisoned. Yoshik. Shot Barrage going to come on through. Aimed at Bulldog there as Yoshik does find a target. The crash does come on through as Andil tries to get himself out, but he doesn't manage to. That's a great pickup here for DNF. And Yahoo will be able to get that soul, or soul point. But that should be Otacon going over to DNF, unless some heroics out of Rich, Teddy, and Sponge, who are up here. Okay, is the all-out actually going to come on through? It does, but it goes in a really weird direction there from Rich, who just gets himself out of there. Teleport back from Yahoo, does get his health bar back up as well. And look at this DNF, they're just not willing to fight for this. Look at their health bars, they're so low. And maybe it's just a leash? I'm not entirely sure. The teleport is now going to come in from Rich, finally, as the unending despair, I think, represents the feelings here of DNF as they lose Soul Point and they lose Otacon. And they're starting to lose hope in this game.
Couldn't get worse in that situation. Bulldog takes so much poke from Teddy, and then I even think Rich misplayed a little bit. I think he was trying to grab Bulldog and grabbed life instead.
Right. I thought he was trying to go through the wall, but then I think he decided instead he wanted to pull them back to his teammates or something.
Yeah, I think it was weird because I think if he just grabbed Cassiopeia, he could have just killed her.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too.
Yeah, Geshik was, I think, trying to grab Teddy, but was like, you know, I'll take the support. If he'd grabbed Teddy, that could have been completely different because Teddy caused so many issues here. Bulldog was already pretty low, and then Teddy just kept poking him out.
Yeah.
We're going to see the replay of what happened with Rich, but yeah, I think he should have just ulted Bulldog over the wall and killed him, but maybe was concerned about being turned on, or if Miasma came down, or if Bulldog flashed, so maybe just was like, this is a safe route, but yeah, then hit life instead, which obviously didn't really make sense to target. But regardless, they get the buffs they wanted, and now firmly in the lead in this game. 6,000 lead in a really comfortable spot.
And Soul Point and Otacon. Like, this is all the things that DNF had in Game 2.
Yeah, they got everything they want right now.
And we said unlosable, things like that. We felt that the tempo vibes were with DNF in Game 2, but now they're with DRX. It's just so hard to fight back against it. That's okay. After this game, never going to say it again. Okay, but for this game, it can exist. Okay?
Okay.
As Pioshik is clearing out some vision, that he's going to be put in prison momentarily. Doesn't actually. Rich rotates over, maybe a little bit late. Rocks being thrown around, stuff like that. 2.5 minutes on the Cloud Soul. This Bulldog moving up towards his top side, and there is Bounty Gold on the map.
I just feel like it really feels like DNF struggling to find access onto DRX. Teddy just kind of outranges them. I feel like the bar just isn't really posing a threat to Teddy.
Yeah.
Skarner can never really reach him. Cassiopeia is outranged. The Corki just doesn't feel like it's posing too much of a threat at the moment. It feels difficult to find an angle in.
I would agree. And we've got Void Staff being built up as well. Yahoo got through the 2 items that you mandatorily need on the Rise and is now able to build damage. Maybe it's just Void Staff into Death Cap. That's the best feeling when you do get those 4 items complete.
Just gives you a lot of the boom boom damage.
Indeed. Might feel like he needs his Onyas or something like that, just in case there is some funny business, but we'll see where he decides to go, or if even it is going to be something worth having a conversation about, because we may not even get there. This game is starting to snowball. As Sponge very healthy as well. He's got Trinity Force, Sundered Sky, and just a random BF sword for fun.
GA, presumably.
Yeah, he's going to be a very, very scary Viego.
Yeah, which we haven't seen for a while, I feel.
Oh, Sponge. That was too... That you don't need to.
It was so unnecessary, bordering on a little bit pointless.
Yeah.
I'm being real. It's just...
And almost just mean.
Yeah. No, definitely mean.
It's
definitely.
the emotional damage, you know? It's the psychological warfare that Sponge was going for there. And honestly, that worked out very well.
Yeah.
I was frustrated on their behalf.
It's just, yeah, it's deflating.
It is. I
think for a team already pretty deflated. In fact, I think DNF stands for do not flate.
Yeah, do not flate. Oh no. Well, I guess they're taking their own advice. We're not very flated. The hopes are not very flatable.
Yeah.
It's 3 items for Teddy as well. As you can see, he's done double the damage of the second highest in the game, and that is Rich.
He has been pumping this game.
Yeah. It's the day of the Rich here today, but also the day of the Teddy. 107, like they have the same scoreline as well. It's actually kind of impressive. Not the same CS margin. There is an 80 CS difference there, and that's why Teddy has all of the money and able to do all of this damage. As okay, Cloud Soul up and available, 10 seconds time. DRX with full control of the area. Pioshik taking some poke here as Teddy very comfortable here. And just no one able to threaten him. The Tempered Fate only lands onto Sponge. It's a decent attempt, but it doesn't do anything at all. Teddy rips through 2. Dudu not going to be ending the world of DRX. In fact, it's his world that's going down. That's a flash in from Yehu, if ever I've seen one. He didn't really want to do it, but it looked great. And DRX will be able to take the Soul and whatever the heck else they would like.
Yeah, I think Cloud Soul into Baron seems like the play. Looked like, you know, for first time in the game, they got some value of the bottle, but Sponge wasn't able to be followed up on, and it was Andal coming in with a huge Pop Blossom as the counter punch. I think DRX is far too strong right now, really, for DNF to offer any real fight back.
Yeah, the Andal answer to Pioshik. Pioshik's Impale was actually decent, but sometimes the Pop Blossom is just too good, and Teddy wasn't hit by the Tempered Fate, you know? He was still able to do all the work. Let's have a look at it again.
Yeah, so ended up catching Sponge here. Of course, he didn't get, Yehu didn't get Teddy. The Miasma comes down, but then this Pop Blossom gets 3. It's so big. 2 just go down instantly. Rich turns on the Cassiopeia with Teddy the Lita, and then the fight's just over.
I think it's an Andal POM. If DRX does win this series, his Nautilus was great. I don't know, I kind of, that's what I'm feeling. I don't have a vote though, and I did talk about tempo vibes for half of this game, so yeah. I'm not in any state to really say anything that's meaningful at this point in time. So
I've been thinking about my POM for a while now.
I think it's a toughie. And if it's DNF, I'm even more confused.
Rich was pretty good in the Scion game and the Horn game.
He did press R a lot. If it's based on R's pressed,
he was okay in the Horn game. Scion game, pretty good.
That was Dudu was playing Scion, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was actually. That messed up. In the
it was much more of a Rich.
In this game, he's been good.
Yeah, in this game, he's been good.
He was in the Ambessa game. Yeah, he was okay in that one. Teddy was good in the Lucian game.
He did go for a very deep flank.
That was fun. Teddy was good in the Lucian game and this game. Kai'Sa game wasn't really on him. Sponge, the Xin Zhao, the Viego. The Viego's been good.
Viego has been good, and it's Viego.
Yeah.
Inhibitor turrets are going down, by the way, guys. Baron is being utilized here by DRX. They are walking fast.
I think it's. I don't think Andal's a bad shout, but I think it's. I think I'm leaning Teddy.
Yeah, I could see Teddy. I could definitely see Teddy. And then also we get the interview with Teddy as well, which would be great to have a chat to him. So for that reason, I think he's a good shout. However, DRX are going to do this full tutorial style, taking out all of these turrets. Inhibitor's still up here in the mid lane, actually, which is kind of crazy. As DRX somewhat split, doing a bit of a 1-2-2 with 2 being in the jungle, as Yehu's just going to, I think walking back into that makes a lot of sense. As now they pile in around him. He survives for a long time, but it is going to be Berserker taking down the Rise. Inhibitor to go down in the mid lane in response, but DRX gonna have to give up the push here. Baron not going to get them much more. 2.5k on the Rebel Baron power play, not too bad. But they have a 12,000 gold lead.
I like how you say not going to get them much more, and then you look at their base of DNF. It's like, well...
I mean, there's not much more to take. However, they're still not going to get much more.
Yeah, and hard to escape the situation as the Rise. Good battle, you know, this is the sort of battle you can get onto mobile carries, and ultimately Rise is the best target to find, but it's taken some time really to find this pick. It's something. You can see that little dip on the gold graph.
Yeah, there you go.
Small dip in comparison to the overwhelming blue we are seeing.
It is pretty severe, as Teddy almost has 6 items, has that luxury QSS to come through as the final choice, so even if Koshik does manage to lock him down, it just will not happen. Sponge, yeah, he's got his GA now completed. I mean, 3 items on Viego is very, very scary. Any sort of accelerated Viego is just a really frightening situation. He is 2 levels ahead of Koshik and level 16 gain, so it can really break the hearts of DNF. And this worked out really well for Yehu last time, so he's just going to stand in exactly the same position where he died, and this is the only lane that they have left if they want to be sieging something that's not a Nexus turret. As Teddy walks forward, and look at how safe he feels, and you can understand exactly why.
Look at the super minions pushing in bot, or super minion, so someone has to deal with that. Waves aren't really stacked up at a good time though, because that comes in, and there's no wave top. Can't really capitalize, because they just all get cleared out, so... yeah, not synced up to the best. There's another wave coming through now, but again, Minion's going to hold that. They'll be able to clear out this top wave.
It's a little bit more difficult as Pop Blossom comes in, lands onto 3! As Andal starts it off yet again. Koshik takes a fair bit of damage, but Teddy is nowhere near this fight. And so it's actually not really much of anything at all. Still, Teddy is going to be able to Arcane Shift forward, utilize that last bit of health on that minion to do a bit more damage to this. As Yehu has to deal with Dudu and Berserker. He is able to walk it off, but DRX really trying to get as much as they can out of the situation and not really getting there. So they're just going to have to play patient and see what they can do.
Such a deep dive for very little merit, you know?
And I also feel like they dived super deep and then Teddy just walked back to red buff.
He's an 80 carry.
Red buff wasn't even there yet. He just needed to check.
If you look on the map now, it's spawning soon. So
yeah. Fair enough.
Do you have Elder in 20 seconds? Rabadon is just picked up for Rise. Wait, it said it was picked up, but it appears... It came up...
He likes the...
You saw that, right? You saw that come up. On the side.
Yeah, no, I think our observers got a little bit ahead of themselves, or our graphics team. They thought that it was going to be completed, and it was not.
That threw me. I guess
okay, yeah, who actually throwing out a weird Realm Warp, and it's not quite going to actually be taken, but still it works. As Byoshi goes down, it's a double for Teddy. Could it be the Penta angle? We'll just see. There's the triple. It's not the Quadra, but we'll just have to take the triple kill for Teddy as they get the ace. DRX, a happy B to come up on top of the head of Rich, and they will be able to take down these Nexus turrets. The woes for DNF continue. Their chances for first in the group are dead, but DRX at least having a good day here.
You have one more chance to say it.
I don't need to. The game is over.
Okay.
It will stay in that time capsule.
Okay, we've locked it in.
We'll say that the tempo vibes will just...
Oh, then you said it! Then you said it!
We're still in the game. We're still in the game.